Welcome once again to our second edition of the Snobcast. Here, it's your host, William, along with my, once again, crazy co-host.
Crazy. Hi, everyone. I'm Shay Simone, the head writer.
She's a little bit crazy, and the head writer. And
You're crazier
than
I am. Thank you.
That we have.
Compliments.
We are actually recording this on one of the tail end days of this year's Sundance Film Festival. Shout out to Park City for hosting us for 2 weeks and not imploding.
Shout out to the nice people, the volunteers. Y'all have been amazing. Y'all have been keeping me sane.
It's been a crazy experience, but we actually have a special guest for our second ever podcast, live and direct here from Park City, and you may know her from Twitter.
She's a famous
Rosa
Review!
Yay! Say hi, Rosa.
Hello everybody.
Yeah!
Oh my god, I'm so flattered. You guys are just too much.
We are,
Too much.
Or are we not enough? Also wanted to say hi to all of our friends that we met and got to hang out with this 2 weeks. Jessica Pena, Matt Naglia, of course, Rafael Montemayor, everybody who's been awesome and hanging out with us this whole festival. You guys fucking rule. Straight up. This podcast this week, we're going to talk about some of our favorite things that we had happen again during this year. We're not going to give you expressly the best films of the festival. That we're saving for another article that you can find, but only if you're a Patreon subscriber. Hit that button at the bottom there. It says to subscribe. As long as you're $5 or more, you can get your hands on that. What we are going to do is go category by category and pick our favorite films of those different categories. We'll talk about it, debate it. Likewise, we're going to have a discussion about the Best Picture nominees. There are 9 of them, but we feel that only 7 of them deserve to be there. So we're taking out the 2 that we don't think deserve to be there, and we're going to go ahead and replace them with 2 films of our own. So, without further ado, let's get to our first topic, which is the Best of Sundance. What's our first category?
Our first category is U.S. Dramatic Competition.
Yay!
So, Rosa, do you want to start off in, no?
I had no idea we were doing the recap for Sundance. Oh yeah, the 40-year-old version. Without a doubt. It's actually my favorite film of the festival. Well, I'm not going to be on your other podcast. It doesn't matter. If I get my personal favorites. Yeah, just the movie was just, I was just blown away by it. The acting, the directing, the writing, all by Rhoda Blank, and everything about it just hit me. I think I was able to relate more to it because she was mourning the loss of her mother, which I still am as well. So in that sense, it was very, very much relatable.
Shout out to Rosa's mom, rest in peace.
Yeah, so I just love the movie. Everything about it is just loved it.
Awesome.
Shay, what's your pick for this?
So I have to pick one?
Yeah, just pick the one you thought was the best and is going to win this particular category.
That's tough because I got to see quite a few from this category. I saw Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, which was not my favorite. But I also saw Palm Springs, which was really fucking good. Really? So funny. I'm not a huge, unlike Will, my associate, I'm not a huge fan of rom-coms. I don't fall into them easy, but like I got the feels from this one. It really feels romantic and it's hilarious, and the plot is just so much fun to watch.
Bonkers is what
it's bonkers, yeah. It's I guess I can't say anything about the plot, but yeah. I didn't like 9 Days as much. Save Yourselves, that was pretty cute. Shirley was really good. I loved the 40-year-old version. I'm with Rose on that. It was hilarious and it was real. You can read my review about it, but it was just everything I needed it to be. I would love to see it again and show it to all my friends and we'd all have a laugh together. I also loved Zola, which was just electrifying. It was so much fun to watch as well.
There's this kinetic energy about Zola.
It is really kinetic because they're always moving all the time. They're dancing, they're in a car, they're running. There's just so much action that happens in it, but strippers. It's also so sassy because it's a story about this woman's Twitter stories, like 144 tweets in which she talks about an instance where she was kind of hijacked and almost forced to prostitute herself.
It's just crazy. A24 once again.
Once again, A24 did it again.
I feel like that's becoming monotonous to say now. A24 has another great movie out. Wow.
That's why I decided to do the catchphrase.
Is
what
water
else
wet?
is new?
Is water wet?
Is water wet?
Right?
Yes,
Wait,
it is.
did
That's
you
no
guys
question.
see the tweet, the actual thing?
I know, but I want
Neither
to.
did I was just curious.
Yeah,
I didn't know anything about it.
I want to read the Reddit AMA, which they also include in the movie. Like, it's just one of those movies where, I mean, normally I'm kind of like against based on a true story kind of shit because I put a lot of Hollywood bullshit in there and water down the story. Yeah. But it's just so fun to watch, even, you know, if it's, you know, not the full story or not the complete true story. It's just so much fun to watch. But I think I do know what my favorite is in this category.
And what is it?
Dinner in America!
Right it is.
I loved it so much. And it was cool because we actually got to speak with Adam, the director, right before I saw it. And little fun fact, so we were just talking, and he points to me, and he's like, my movie is going to make you cry. I bet that you're going to cry. And I'm like, really? You want to put money on that? He's like, yeah. $5. So I had to hold my own while I was watching this movie. And, you know, he owes me $5 now. So shout out to Adam.
Adam Raymeyer, you owe her $5.
I need that $5, bud. I'm a college student.
So
I have debts to pay, drugs to sell.
When it comes to this category, there were some ones I also liked. I loved Blast Beat. I saw that one. Minari is so good. It's one of those films, again, by A24 that's just going to tug at your heartstrings and get you going. Blast Beat's metal and awesome, and the Arias brothers bring something interesting to the immigrant's tale. So it's funny because those are both immigrants' tales, but the ones I'm going to pick is also Dinner in America!
Dinner in America! Yay!
This is my favorite film of this entire festival. Spoiler alert on that one. It may not be the number one overall, but it was my personal favorite. It's so good. It's so witty and charming. And we're going to include a little bit of our interview with Adam right here so you can hear what that sounds like.
That's true. Yeah, it's very true. What looks like, you know, a good place to hide out turns to reveal something a little bit more, deeper connection.
Isn't that always how it happens?
Right.
Now, in my review, I said this was a mixture of like Romeo and Juliet and Sid and Nancy.
I fucking love that, by the way. I thought
say?
that was brilliant.
Yeah.
I might have to use that for the poster, dude. That's
You
so
can use
fucking
that if
good.
you want to.
Boom.
We'll-
All right.
we
did it
look
right
forward to
there.
that.
You heard that.
That's going on the poster.
record.
William said it was possible.
I'm quoting him on this.
That's really good, dude.
Thank you.
That's fucking brilliant.
Thank
Like,
you.
Really, Dinner in America is just so different from every other Sundance film that we saw because it just had such a unique voice. It had such a great energy. It was just so full of life, and the music is amazing, and I love the performances and just the characters and how they're written is hilarious, and there's just so much, like I said, I keep repeating myself, but there's just so much life to this movie.
And Watermelon's going to get stuck in your head.
Oh yeah.
It just will. Emily Skeggs and Kyle Gallner are, to me, one of the best couples that I've seen in any Sundance movie in the 2 years that we've been here.
For me personally, like, especially you could, at face value, you could label it as a romantic comedy. In that sense, like, they're one of my favorite movie couples of all time because it's just, they're so oddball and their relationship is so strange.
And nothing feels inorganic about it. It just kind of develops over the what is it, like 104 minutes of the story?
And it's just kind of just hilarious how it develops. And you guys just really need to see it. It's just so enjoyable and so lovely.
It's so good. And I've never seen a film like this at a festival that just punches you in the face with its punk rock attitude and doesn't even apologize.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It just says, this is what we are, this is who we are, and we don't care if you like it or not.
Yeah. It's unforgettable.
Yes.
It's got just so much personality to it.
It really is unforgettable.
We're gushing.
Yes. 100%. What's our next category?
Our next category is, drumroll please, U.S. documentary competition.
Woo!
Yay!
Right. And what is I guess we'll start again with Rosa, with her favorite documentary competition, documentary that she saw. I think we're all gonna have different answers here. I don't think this is gonna be like the last
Um,
category where we each had the same answer and Rosa was different.
Yeah.
I think all three of us are gonna have different answers because
At the same time, like the documentaries, a lot of them are coming out on, or not a lot of them, but a few of them are coming out on Netflix. Dick Johnson is dead. Mucho mucho amor. So our answers may change over time.
Cuties is coming out there too.
Yeah.
There's quite a few.
Yeah, there were also quite a few that I didn't get to see, which is unfortunate.
And because we like documentaries here at Film Snob Reviews. If anybody knows anything about us,
we
love
like to
a good doc.
Spread the love.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So Rosa, what was your favorite of this entire thing?
Without a doubt, perhaps my second favorite film of the festival is Mucho Mucho Amor.
There's so goodness right there.
Yes.
So good.
Oh man, it just hit all the right places. I was sobbing towards the end of the film, and I grew up watching. It's Mucho Mucho Amor is a documentary about Walter Mercado, the Puerto Rican astrologer, and just learning things about him that I never knew. And just watching it all unfold on the big screen was just impactful. The nostalgia aspect of it was just too much for me to handle. I was just crying throughout the whole
I also love the subtle but not overdone message of him dealing with the fact that he was or wasn't, because we don't know, a homosexual girl in the Latin environment, which is typically very homophobic.
Yes.
And not friendly towards that sort of behavior. I love how they handled that. And how that question has still never been answered, and the man just passed away in November.
I mean, but he looks like Liberace, though.
Oh, he's more fabulous than Liberace.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Plus, he can tell you your astrological sign and everything's gonna happen to you. Liberace can't do that.
Talent. That's skill.
Talent right there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that answer. I saw the doc, and I only saw the doc because also Latin, grew up watching him, but you gushed about it so much, I had to go see it for myself. And it was everything that I wanted it to be. It almost got me, a grown-ass man in my 30s, to cry.
Yeah.
Crying is good.
Crying is good. Crying is catharsis,
Mm-hmm.
as a physical action. But there's so much you could say, but the film says it all so simply and just puts it in this nice little box. It's about an hour and hour 40?
Yeah.
This one's coming out on Netflix, right?
Right.
So they can see this at some point this year on Netflix, and I would recommend that you all do that. Shay, what was your favorite doc?
So my favorite doc is I think it's the only one that I saw in the category, which I mean, it does, which is sad. I wanted to see a lot of documentaries in this category, and I will once they do come out. I wanted to see 1,000 Cuts. I wanted to see Boys State, which Will saw. Dick Johnson is Dead, Mucho Mucho Amor, Spaceship Earth. Just like all of it. But
Schedules be damned.
The documentary that I did see happens to be pretty much my favorite documentary, period, from the entire festival. And that would be Feels Good Man, starring Pepe the Frog.
Yes!
Yeah, so basically, it's about the author artist behind the design of Pepe the Frog and the persona of Pepe the Frog. The frog originally came from his comic books, which were called Boys Club, and it was just this like easygoing kind of cute thing about the post-college experience, and it was just kind of, I don't know, he's a children's author, and he illustrates books for kids and stuff, and then it turns into this whole internet meme and spirals into, eventually the icon for the alt-right. And it's kind of really sad to watch, but it's also fascinating to see how out of hand internet history gets. It leads from one thing to another. But they add so much personality to this film, even though they didn't need to. There are these amazing, just like psychedelic animated segments that they make for Pepe and Pepe's friends from the original comic. And Will and I saw it together last night. He as soon as like the beginning credits showed in that first animated slot, I turned to him and my face was like, my mouth was agape.
Her eyes lit up like a Christmas tree, and I already knew. I was like, we're in for a ride here.
I was dying. It was so good, and it's just so enjoyable to watch. And you get all these memes thrown at you, but as they grow darker and darker, you just feel bad for this guy, how this thing that he never intended to, you know, become a meme or become this iconic or anything. It just spirals out of control, and it just all goes out of his hands until he finally tries to take it back for himself, because, you know, the creator of an alt-right symbol, life didn't get easier for him.
Yeah,
I'll just say that much.
I'm going to point out a phrase I'm going to use in the review for this movie. It's like watching Alice go down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
As we watch Matt Fury watch his character go from this innocent, like, the most innocent of his 4 characters in the comic that he created, to this perverted version of the same thing used by Richard Spencer and Donald Trump and all these alt-right, racist, white supremacist organizations. It really, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, it says a lot about meme culture and masculinity through meme culture and the internet and 4chan and
how
politics.
4chan is the poison of the internet.
Yeah, politics. A lot about politics. This is mostly just about politics, and it's not like an adversely political film. They take a relatively unbiased stand on that.
Very neutral.
Because of the interviews that they do. Like, they literally interview 4chaners, and then just they talk about the whole history of Pepe the Frog and just how crazy it is. It's a crazy movie.
Yeah, one of my favorite interviews was with the Donald Trump strategist, who you could see as kind of the villain of the story, because he says, quite literally, he doesn't care that this character that he doesn't even own is out of control because it's not his creation and not his problem.
But at the same time, he's also just a cog. He's just doing his job. And yeah, it's just amazing to watch. I highly recommend it to every single person alive. It doesn't matter your political standing or whether or not you even know who the fuck Pepe the Frog is. But it's such a bizarre thing. It's such a bizarre situation that this artist is in, and then what happens to this character. So this is definitely not only my favorite documentary of the category, but just period. It's so well done.
It's so good.
And it's so entertaining.
It is entertaining. I think that's one thing that people don't understand about documentaries, is they can be highly entertaining.
Yeah.
And the one that I found to be the most entertaining and probably the best is Boy State. A24 and Apple have picked this thing up, and I see why now. They spent $12 million on this film. It is beautiful. It's wonderfully paced, and everything that you hope happens for a reason. Nothing feels faked about it. It's about these 1,200 young boys in Texas who are split up into 2 groups of 600, the Nationalists and the Federalists. They're going to run elections against one another for all of the different state positions, state committee leader, and of course, the biggest and highest in the land, governor. But not everybody gets to be the governor or run for the governor. You have to get 30 signatures, much like an actual governor would. You have to run a campaign. You have to do speeches, and you have to get the approval of your chair to run for governor. Everything about this movie, and I don't want to say too much, because I think it's one of these beautiful experiences with a documentary that you need to go on yourself. Everything about this documentary made me almost cry. One of the candidates is a Mexican American, and the story of his family is the story of my family. And that hit me like a ton of bricks in the face. And then you had this other kid who is Caucasian, who's had everything handed to him on a silver platter. And everything just sort of, it's a fist pump. It's a fist pump in the air for what's wrong with politics in the United States, but also how we can fix it.
Yeah, it's like a sample-sized thing of politics. It's like Lord of the Flies. Like, what happens when we just give these young people a situation and then we watch them? It sounds like an experiment. It
really is. It's a social experiment, and it's one that's so entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
What do we have next on the
So next, it's either going to be kind of hard or kind of, for me, it's going to be really easy. But next, we have the World Cinema Dramatic Competition.
All right, and this is all films from different parts of the world.
International. Yes. So, Rosa, do you want to go first? What is your favorite?
I would love to go first, but it seems that I have not seen any of these.
I've only seen 2.
I cannot participate on this category.
I've seen 2 of them, and I didn't like either one. So I'm going to pick the one I liked more.
Ooh, T. Okay, bring it on.
Are you going to go first? Because it's going to be the same one as you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go first because I liked it. I loved it.
I know you did. It's Possessor, right?
I wanted to say it.
Well, tell them what Possessor is.
Okay, my favorite film was Possessor. Directed by baby Brandon Cronenberger.
Yes, Cronenberg. Yes.
Yes, Cronenberger. Yes.
Yes.
But his last film, Antiviral, I saw so much potential in, but it didn't quite meet what it needed to do and what it wanted to do. But it had so much potential because as a director, he clearly has an idea of what he's doing and where he wants to go. In Possessor, everything that Antiviral was missing is improved upon. It's there and it's so well done. It's such a visual feast, and it's almost like so overwhelming because it's got everything. It's got the hyper violence. It's got the hyper sexual crazy scenes going on. The concept is insane. It's like a sci-fi crime thriller body horror, which is everything I ever wanted. So in that sense, it's also harkening back to his father's filmography. But at the same time, it's something all his own. Andrea Riseborough is amazing in it. Christopher Abbott is so great in it because they're going head to head in this, and it's just they're really interesting characters to see as they're going through this weird thing where she plays this kind of hitman kind of character.
I would say she's a mental thief.
But she's also like a hitman. So she's definitely a mental thief. She takes over the bodies of people in order to kind of discreetly kill, someone else.
Somebody super rich or powerful.
Yeah, so she's a hitman. And it's interesting to see kind of how her psyche changes or develops or there's just all this stuff fades away. She's a psychopath basically. Not a psychopath, a sociopath. She knows exactly what she's doing, and you see her trying to struggle to get to the point where she needs to be, while also interfering with this person's emotions. Who is this person is trying to fight back? It's crazy. And it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I love how it's filmed.
Possessor is an insane movie made by insane people, and I don't necessarily like it, but I don't dislike it as much as I dislike Luxor, which is the other film I saw, which also stars Andrea Riseborough. Ironically, she's in both these movies. Shout out to her because she's, she's been interviewed by
amazing actress.
She's a fantastic actress.
Yeah, who was also in Mandy for those of you who don't know.
Yep, Mandy and Birdman. She was also in Birdman.
And Nancy.
And Nancy.
Yes,
which is what we interviewed her for.
Oh, and she was also in Death of Stalin.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
she's in a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
she's a great actress. But Possessor has great practical effects as well. That's one thing that I do want to touch on. The practical effects work so well, and they do create this almost constant state of cringe when the movie picks up its steam, and you just want to like leave.
I didn't. I was enjoying every single fucking second of it. And you're right, like the special effects are amazing. The makeup effects are so convincing and so like juicy and visceral. Like
one scene in particular is very juicy. Yes.
With Sean Bean. Mr. Bean, aka Sean Bean, who oh no, I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's pretty funny. I think
juicy.
I think those of you who've seen it will know what I'm implying. But
keep your eye on this movie for sure.
Yeah, it was funny when we were watching it because when we were, people at Sundance don't really seem to be that desensitized to this kind of stuff because they were very audible during the screening. Yes. They were crying out, "Oh my God! Oh!"
And I was we didn't hear a few. Oh, how absurd!
Yeah. Oh my! Oh, Jiminy Scrambles!
Jiminy Scrambles!
Jiminy Scrambles!
I don't even know what that means.
But it was also funny because I knew that it's not a movie that people will necessarily like because of the nature of what it is. So once it ended, it was completely silent, and I predicted this. So I'm the only one clapping loudly and obnoxiously. It was super
Woo! Awesome. It was super awesome to be sitting next to her and watching everybody like, who the hell's clapping?
I was literally the only one, and I loved it.
It's the best movie of the lot that we saw, honestly, because I didn't care too much for Luxor, and what was the other film that you'd seen in the category?
Jumbo,
which didn't care too much for either. Yeah.
It's a mixed bag. You guys can see me break it down in my review that's coming up. But
the problem with Luxor is not Andrea Riseborough, who's fantastic again. It's the script is boring as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, moving on.
What's our next category? Documentary, right?
World Cinema Documentary Competition.
Ooh.
So, the international documentaries.
Yes.
What have we got? Rosa, do you want to kick it up?
Again, I only watched 20 films this festival, and none of these apparently was one of them. I actually watched one, well, semi-watched, because I knocked out half of the film.
There was an issue there.
So I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
really talk about it.
Oh yeah, I was with Rosa when we saw it.
Yeah.
Saw it,
And
quote
that's
unquote.
yeah, when we saw bits and pieces of it.
Yeah. So Rosa and I went to see Influence.
Yeah.
And what happened, Rosa?
We had a really good nap.
It was very comforting.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
man.
influenced us to take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
But for what I took from it, it was just either it's like a company or a man who runs a company that is based on advertising and how the company itself had to do with political campaigns and how it was just too boring for me. Yeah.
At the same time, we've been working nonstop.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, seeing movies
Yeah.
every day. It sounds fun, and it is.
Yeah.
But just having to travel from theater to theater and
That's
schedule
true.
everything and
Yeah.
sit there for a couple hours at a time and then run around again. Not eating, not really sleeping that much as you
Yeah.
should. So yeah, this Influence was pretty motivating in that it motivated me to get some sleep. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
These
that's
are
a good
just-
thing, I guess.
These
Very
are just-
influential.
Yeah.
These are just the tales of Sundance. This is what happens when you go to a festival that's this long with this many movies playing.
Yeah.
I don't actually have a pick either because I didn't see any of these movies.
Mhm.
But I know you have one, and it's one that you really enjoyed and want to talk about. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. So Into the Deep is coming out on Netflix, and you guys need to see this movie. I want you I want you guys to check out my review for it, but in short, this is my second favorite documentary film under Feels Good Man, but it's kind of a foil to Feels Good Man, in which Feels Good Man is about this one guy who's trying to do good and things kind of spiral out of control. This documentary, Into the Deep, is about one filmmaker, this woman who just wants to do a documentary on these people who are being led by this guy, Peter Madsen, a Danish gentleman, who are building their own rockets and submarines. So they're kind of going rogue or something. But while she's making the film, he ends up in prison because he, murdered a Swedish journalist. So,
Oops.
yeah, there it is. Someone is dead, and it's really incredible because you see how this affects his crew, all these young unpaid interns who followed him and trusted in him, and you see more and more what the kind of person he is through what they've experienced, and then ultimately the very end of the film is just like one punch in the face. When I was at the theater, and it was kind of sad, but it was also the second week of Sundance. Not as many people are going to be there. It wasn't a premiere. It was just a press and industry screening. But the theater I was in wasn't full. But the people who were there, all of us were very, obviously disturbed. When
That's hard to do at a P&I screening.
Yeah.
It really is.
when the film ended, everyone was literally like, what the fuck? And that doesn't happen to me very often.
Yeah.
My hands were on my head. My mouth was hanging. I was blown away that this happened, just all happened.
Yeah.
It was kind of a coincidence that it happened when it did while she was filming it. And it's scary. It's a really intense documentary just about a psychopath. So highly recommend it. I really want to push for you guys to see this film because it needs more recognition. I keep saying it's like the new, I think it's called the Jinx.
Yes, the Jinx.
Yeah.
Or like the film that was here last year, Cold Case Hemmerskjold,
Mm-hmm.
which was about a ambassador from Sweden who'd landed,
Mm-hmm.
who crashed and died, but became so much more as all the layers unveiled themselves.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very revealing film, and it just kind of it's downward spiral, and it's amazing to watch. It's incredible, and it's probably one of the best true crime documentaries to come out this year, if not this decade.
Basically,
honestly,
what we're saying is Netflix is probably going to be in the discussion yet again to win the Oscar for Best Documentary, as they always seem to be.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, they're always in that conversation because they always pick up all the best documentaries from whatever festivals they can. And I think it's so interesting that they've kind of stuck their they've planted a flag in there and done that. What's the next category that we got?
So the next category is the premieres.
Premieres, yay!
Okay. Rosa,
Yes.
what is your favorite premiere film?
Oh,
This is a
okay.
tough one. This is a toughie.
It is. It is. I mean, somewhat, because I only saw a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the weird one. That I very much enjoyed,
What
it's
is
not gonna be for everyone.
Mhm.
Kajillionaire.
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 Yeah.
Directed by Miranda July.
Yes. It's a film that's not gonna be for everybody. But it certainly was for me. It's pretty much, it follows a family of con artists. And they somehow charm a stranger played by Gina Rodriguez, who's really good in this film too. And they just scam, and I don't know, I think for me what I really liked about this film was just the parenting aspect of it. There's a specific theme about parenting that, as a mother, it kind of left me thinking about my own parenting, and as a daughter as well.
Yeah.
So I think that was the part that got me the most. It was funny as well.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was really funny.
Very funny. Very
Really funny.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's the movie I'm gonna go for.
Nice.
In that category.
That's a
an
great
awesome choice. Yeah,
great
for real.
choice, Kajillionaire. We also really enjoyed Kajillionaire, but that wasn't our pick, was it? Was that your pick?
For me, it was kind of a tie, but since Rosa brought up Kajillionaire, I want to bring up another film, Horse Girl.
All right.
Horse Girl, starring Allison Brie, directed by Jeff Baena, who apparently also did Life After Beth.
He did.
Yeah. And I wasn't really necessarily sure what to expect from this film. I guess you should always go in without that much expectation, but
especially here at Sundance.
Yeah, I apparently he had directed Life After Beth, which is another movie that I really, really liked. I love Aubrey Plaza.
We're
going to talk about her later. But yeah, I just got so much out of Horse Girl personally, and not everyone is gonna get something out of it, but I love the cast. I love the characters they play. Allison Brie is this kind of lonely, sometimes like kind of awkward, but I don't know, very driven young woman, and she's got all this stuff ahead of her. She loves her job. She loves her boss, who's Molly Shannon, and Molly Shannon is wonderful in this.
She is wonderful in everything.
She's such a loving presence in this film, and like later on in the film when things happen, you're just like you need her. Yeah. You want to go back to her. Sarah, the main character, Allison Brie's character, also has this nice roommate who takes care of her, and then she's got like a relationship on the horizon with John Reynolds, who I love. He's adorable. He's such a charming actor. He's just got this like adorable swagger about him.
There's almost like a neurotic charm.
Kind of, yeah.
It's weird.
I don't know. He's so great. I loved him in Search Party, and then I loved him in Save Yourselves.
He steals every scene in Horse Girl.
He's
in.
It's hard to say he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's hard to say he doesn't. But Horse Girl is just about this woman. Like I said, she has all this stuff going on for her. She's got all this stuff in her life, but she's also an orphan. And she kind of deals with that, and she starts sleepwalking. And these episodes start getting weirder and weirder and weirder, and it just, I can't really say anything about it, but just expect it to be a really strange kind of bizarre movie, especially by the end, by the third act. It might lose some people, but for me, I kind of felt like it felt really grounded despite all the things that were happening, because I know people who have kind of gone through this kind of stuff, But at the same time, it's got this weird fantastical element to it because it's disorienting, and it's supposed to be disorienting. You're supposed to be in there with Sarah as she's going through what she's going through, and she suffers the consequences of what's happening to her.
There's certainly a dialogue on mental health within Horse Girl, and I didn't like Horse Girl as much as you did, but I see why you did, and there's some charming stuff. Even Debbie Ryan as the roommate, I think I've never really cared for her as an actress, but I thought she was super charming.
Yeah, she was really great in it too, and she was able to play kind of her shifting feelings toward her roommate very well, and you relate to everyone, you care for everyone in this film. And yeah, I just encourage everyone to see it. After I saw it, I felt so good. I felt crazy. I felt motivated. I was like, man, I love movies so much, you know? And yeah, it's going to be on Netflix, so check it out.
Yeah,
Will?
it does come out on Netflix real soon. My pick
Yeah.
is one that none of you guys got to unfortunately see.
Yeah.
And I wish you had, because I would be talking about this with both of you. And it's Emerald Fennell, I think her name is, Emerald Fennell. Her film, Promising Young Woman. What a film. My God. Me and Matt Neglia were talking about this film for the few days after I'd seen it, and I don't want to give too much away about the plot, but it centers around a woman played by Carey Mulligan who is out to show that men ain't shit. And she's not wrong. We ain't shit.
No, don't say that.
I'm awesome.
That's what Sundance wants you to believe.
I'm awesome, but the men in this movie ain't shit, except for Bo Burnham, who steals every single scene in this movie and is the funniest I've ever seen him. And that says a lot, because Bo Burnham is very funny.
Whoa, that's a high bar, son.
It's a very high bar, but trust me when I tell you, the dialogue in Promising Young Woman it's killer. The set pieces are literally fantastic. Everything about the way this film is put together, right down to the soundtrack, is amazing. And we actually had the opportunity to interview Anthony Willis, and I'm just going to share a little bit of that before I go back to talking about this movie.
It seems like your music tends to lead the action going on the screen. Was that something that you intended to do, or something that the director made a choice on?
I think the whole film, I mean, as a lot of people, Emerald's really playing with the audience in terms of the genre that they're in, and you know, the part of this whole narrative of this film is about perception and how things can be seen in different ways.
So as you can see, he's a guy who knows exactly what he's doing, and as far as music goes and putting it together, there's a great, and I would encourage everyone to go watch the trailer for this movie just so you know what the hell you're looking at. There's a great instrumental cover of Britney Spears' Toxic in this thing, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's pretty good.
This movie comes out April 17th in theaters. Go see this thing as soon as it comes out because it's fantastic. Be on the lookout for our review, of course. But that is my pick for that particular section. What's our next section, Shay?
Next, we have documentary premieres.
Whoa, documentary premieres.
Wow.
Wow.
Alrighty. Rosa?
Yes. Oh my. Oh. Is it possible to have a tie?
Yeah. You know what?
Do it.
If you want to
Go
talk
for
about
it.
two different movies, go right ahead.
Go for it.
Okay. I don't know if any one of you watched this one, but my first one, of course, is Vivos. And this documentary focuses on 43 students who forcibly disappeared back in 2014 in a police confrontation. They were in a bus.
That's what this is about?
Yes.
I remember that story.
Oh yes, it's in Iguala, Guerrero, Mexico. And what the documentary shows is it's following the families, because when the documentary was done was in 2018, so it had been 4 years, and these students are still gone. They have not been found. The government gives this phony story about what happened to them. I'm not going to give a lot away.
Didn't the president get, impeached over this and removed from office?
Mexican?
Yeah, I think he got, corruption charges. His wife's, in jail or something, right?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a crazy story.
It is, and it's one that it's very powerful and moving, and just to witness these families and their process of grieving, and it actually showcases several different families, the families of the 43 that have disappeared and they have never found the remains, And then you have one particular family who is dealing with their son being in a coma. He's been in a coma for 4 years.
Wow.
And then another family who does definitely know that their son is dead, and they give them it was just a powerful film.
This sounds like a lot.
It is. It is a lot.
Like a lot.
And it's very highly recommended.
Wow.
But yes, watch it. I think we lost. Is this? I'm not even.
I have no idea.
If
What
we
was
got
your
it.
other pick?
The other one is the Go-Go's.
Ooh.
Yes.
You saw it. Is it good?
I saw it. Wait, you guys didn't see it?
No.
Either?
No.
Oh my! You know what? I think these were the only ones I could get into because you guys were watching the good ones. You know what? No, these are good too.
You say that, but then you realize I've only seen like 2 of the movies on that list.
Yeah, I've only seen like 3.
Yeah, and I already know which one I'm picking. So.
Yeah. The Go-Go's, of course, just follows the all-female rock group that were the first ones to compose and play their own music. And their highs, their lows.
I'm
their
so glad that
hits
you
and
picked
everything.
that because I think the Go-Go's are one of those bands that were on the precipice of new wave and punk and changed that scene in the 80s for everybody.
Yeah.
Girls weren't doing that. Girls weren't making that kind of stuff. And
Right,
Belinda
right.
Carlisle is just a badass bitch.
Yeah.
She's just a badass bitch.
Yeah.
I love that.
both
So
of
Rosa's got the beat. So what was your pick, Jay?
So my pick I think was kind of obvious from the start, even before we actually got to Sundance. I had my picks.
I think I know what it's going to be the same with mine. I think.
Happy, joy, the Ren and Stimpy story.
Yeah.
I have a very personal connection to Ren and Stimpy, even though I haven't been watching it for that long because it was like a little bit before my time.
Like a lot before her time.
Just a little bit,
decades.
just like 1-2 decades.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Ren and Stimpy. But it's heartbreaking to kind of like know the reality behind it. Not necessarily the show itself. Well, yeah, definitely the show itself, but also just namely the creator. It's a whole conversation about separating art from artist. But at the same time, like besides, the whole history of Ren and Stimpy, it's all really well structured and it's told really well, and it got a lot of laughs from myself and the other audience members. The most remarkable thing about this documentary, and if you don't already know, John, how do you say his last name?
Kricfalusi.
John Kricfalusi, the creator of Ren and Stimpy, and the lead designer or whatever, he's the one who actually made the characters, has had quite a few scandals. Not quite a few, but
numerous sexual assault allegations.
yes, with a minor.
Yeah.
With a minor or minors, plural.
It's really bad.
It is. And that's why I really wanted to see this film in the first place, because I wanted to know the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And that's what you get from this documentary. The most awesome thing about it is that they managed to get the man himself interviewed within the documentary. And he actually talks about it. And he tries to defend himself. He talks about the whole history, and they also interview his crew, the other animators, who talk about how he, decided to run things, how his ego got in the way, how he was abusive, and just took advantage of his power in so many ways. And yeah, they just have him talk about it. They talk about everything, and it's really incredible to watch. It's pretty historical. So yeah. Will, what about yourself?
Oh yeah, mine's also happy, joy.
Woo!
Yeah. No, this thing's dope.
Yeah.
One thing I think is interesting is that they don't paint him as a villain.
They don't need to.
John Kay does a damn good job of it himself.
Mm-hmm.
Of painting himself as this villain, this egoist who let this huge cartoon go to his head.
Mm-hmm.
Who let Nickelodeon down, even though he was one of the cartoons that helped build Nickelodeon into the powerhouse it is today.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a strange journry. I don't even know what to say. Like this innocent cartoon about a cat and a chihuahua.
Well, somewhat innocent.
Well,
it's pretty
I'm
crude.
getting into that. It started out as this innocent little cartoon that the original head of Nickelodeon programming wanted, into this unbelievably obscure and strange show that it was. And I remember being a kid, about 5, 6 years old, when this show came out on Nickelodeon, and thinking to myself, I don't even think I should be watching this.
But it's a great show. It really is. It's a fantastic show. It was revolutionary in the whole of animation and television.
Cartoons
comedy.
didn't look like that. Cartoons didn't look like that. And they point that out in the film, that in the early 90s and late 80s, the cartoons did not look like Ren and Stimpy did.
Mm-hmm.
And that cannot go without saying. But it doesn't excuse the fact that he's an absolute monster.
Exactly. Separating art from artist.
Yeah. Now,
plus, there was a whole backing of really hardworking people who also put their own into Ren and Stimpy, and that's kind of the whole point of the film, is to prove that Ren and Stimpy is not just the work of one man. It came from a guy originally.
It was created by John Kay.
It was the blood, sweat, and tears of everyone that he dictated.
Yeah, everybody at Spumco helped in the smallest way, biggest way to get this thing made, even though it was technically created by, and I'm using air quotes, John Kay. What a great documentary, man.
Yeah.
I just love
really fantastic.
I love that thing. What's our next category? What you got?
Our next category is Spotlight Films.
Woo! Spotlight!
Spotlight!
Skip.
Did you not see any of these?
No, I wanted to see La Llorona's in there, right? I wanted to see La Llorona, but I didn't get a chance.
La Llorona is in there.
I really wanted to see La Llorona, so I guess I'll start off.
Yes.
No answer.
No answer.
Yeah, I saw, out of this whole thing, I saw
didn't
one
see
film.
anything.
I saw The Assistant.
Yeah.
And I'm not, no.
So, I've seen two of the films in this category. I've seen The Climb, and then I've seen the movie they're talking about, and that's going to be the pick, La Llorona.
La Llorona!
This is a Guatemalan film that deals with a ex-dictator of Guatemala being haunted by his past and the treatment of the Mayan Ixtel people who inhabit Guatemala and still do to this day. It takes place in the 80s. It mixes folklore with this fictional, dictator that they've created, and it's so unbelievably cool the way this film is shot, the way it looks, and even the actresses. They got an indigenous actress, Maria Mercedes Coroy, to play the lead role of Alma. And she's utterly fantastic in this thing. And I loved watching it. I watched it at like 10 o'clock at night. And it hits in every way you want it to hit. It's not so much a horror film as it is just a really good thriller. And a great political thriller at that. I would recommend this. If you get a chance, it is going to be on Shudder in the next few months or so. Shudder picked this one up. So if you have Shudder or you're a fan of that sort of storytelling, pick this one up. And I love the use of the Mayan Ixtel language, which is never really used in anything. It's Spanish and in the Mayan Ixtel language, which I don't remember the name of because it's too hard to pronounce anyway. It starts with a K. What's our next category since we only had one movie ready for that?
The next category, our second to last category is, that we're covering anyway, is the next category of feature films. Yeah.
All right. And so, did you see anything in that category, Rosa?
I did.
Did you see anything you liked in that category?
I did.
Okay, well, what was your pick?
It's not going to be your guys' pick, but Carry You With Me.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes, I went in there and I really enjoyed the movie overall. It had different themes within the film. It's an immigrant story as well as a romance, and of course it's two men. But regardless of that, I think this is one of the most inspiring romances I've seen in film.
I like hearing that.
It's their on-screen chemistry is just, it's so believable, and I was just gushing throughout of it. And like we said previously with Mucho Mucho Amor, this takes place in Mexico. So for a gay couple to be openly gay, and especially in Mexico, it's not easy.
That's a dangerous business.
It's not easy.
Dangerous business.
So it's just a beautiful.
I love that title.
Inspiring, beautiful film.
That title's so romantic.
It has so many different meanings, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. As the movie progresses, you see, okay, I can probably refer to this, or I can refer to that, or all of them.
When I saw it was an LGBTQ movie, and that it was called I Carry You With Me, and it was about, and it took place in Mexico, the first thing I thought about is this is going to be the Mexican version of Call Me By Your Name. Because that's a title that's similar, and it has similar themes.
Right.
Would you say that that's pretty accurate?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, cool.
It's an immigrant story.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to say more because then it's going to kind of spoil it.
Well, and technically, Call Me By Your Name is also an immigrant story because they're not Italian.
Yeah, but I guess.
That's something completely different.
That's a good point. That's what that is.
But no, I wouldn't compare
Okay, interesting. I just thought the titles sound very romantic, both of them.
Yeah, because they're so different. Yeah. No, they're different. Yeah, no.
I
They're
Carry
not
You
the same.
With Me. That's such a cool title.
It's a very romantic title.
It is.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
It's very sweet.
I'm definitely gonna check this out. Do you know if anybody's picked it up?
I'm not sure.
I want to watch it now because now that you're gushing about it, I definitely want to watch it.
Yeah. I'm hyped.
Yeah, I'm hyped about it. I'm a sucker for romance, so
Yeah, you are.
yeah.
And
This
it's
is true.
based on a true story, so.
Oh,
my
wow.
God.
Yeah.
You're gonna have me out here crying
Which
at the
is
movie
why I'm
theater.
telling you
I'm
it's
just
not
telling
the
you.
same thing,
Like,
yeah.
you're gonna have me crying out here. Damn you, Rosa.
You're welcome.
I think we both know what our pick is gonna be. Can we
Oh,
just-
really? Are we gonna have the same pick?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh shit. Well,
3, 2, 1.
Black
Black Bear!
Bear. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
this film.
it's good. Don't
It
say
is.
shit.
I'm not saying that's not. It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
This film hit very heavy for me.
Yeah.
And
All you gotta do is go read the review.
yeah, read the fucking review. Read my fucking
It's like 800 words.
my 800 word review when usually we just stick to 300.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll keep it short and sweet because I don't want to go on a big long ramble. I don't want to ramble. But basically, next to Dinner in America, this was the best film I saw at Sundance, period. It's incredibly clever, and the performances are just out of this world, and they're so crazy. And the structure of this movie is very peculiar, and the story, the narrative just kind of spins. It keeps spinning out of control. But I can't really say anything past that, because
Yeah, you don't want to say too much. 'cause
go
it
in
is-
cold.
Yeah.
Go in cold. That's the best thing that you could do for this viewing experience. Like, you should go in cold for a majority of films that you do want to see. But Black Bear, yeah, just the whole thing and its impact kind of relies on you just not knowing what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, the narrative structure of this film is unlike anything I've seen at Sundance
Mhm.
or in any movie period in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Aubrey Plaza is on a goddamn different planet.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
She's on a different planet with this. I've seen good performances from her. Ingrid Goes West,
Mhm.
Safety Not Guaranteed.
She's an amazing, wonderful actress. She's deep, very, very skilled. I can't say enough good things about
This is the best I've ever seen her.
her. Mm-hmm.
And that's a period. Christopher Abbott, once again, is awesome in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's going to be a star.
He is a star.
And if he's not
Duh.
already, he needs to be a
Duh.
bigger one.
Duh.
He needs to be a bigger star. This guy should be in every movie. He's that good.
Yeah.
He should be a planet, not just.
He should be a
star.
planet. Oh, damn!
The guy's literally Jupiter. I'm just saying.
He's Jupiter. He's the biggest planet of them all.
He's 6'1", 200 pounds. He's huge.
huge in like a fit man way.
Yes, he's very big. This movie's awesome. I'm not going to say anything more about Black Bear because I don't want to give anything away. Just know that when you watch this thing, if you're not prepared for whatever it is you're watching, oh baby, is it going to smack
it's
you in the
good.
head?
Don't be
Yeah.
prepared. Don't be prepared. You
Yeah.
might not like it because it's kind of out there, but honestly, I feel like this film deserves so much recognition because it says so much about a lot of things.
Existence.
Existence of certain things.
Yep.
We can't
Yeah.
even get into
I
it.
can't
We
even get
can't
into it.
we can't even
Yeah.
fucking talk about why it's so good because it won't let us. But
Yeah.
just trust us on this. It's really good.
Yeah, no, this thing
Period.
is literally like a black bear, gigantic in scope and
Dark.
vicious and dark.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And unpredictable.
And unpredictable. There you go.
Just like a black bear.
Mhm.
What's the
Mhm.
last section that we have going
The
on
last
here?
section we have the juiciest of them
Ooh,
all.
the
Kind
midnight.
of the midnight screenings.
None of me.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
This I mean I'm always one for the midnight screenings. I told myself I was going to see all of them, which it never happens, but I'm a midnight screening kind of gal. I like midnight movies. And it's hard to say that there were any winners for me, but
Yeah, I'm going to pass on this because I didn't see any of them.
there was really one film that I didn't see that I needed to. Oh, but there was also one film that I did see that was actually quite good. So either of you guys have nothing
Rosa,
to
did
say.
you see any of those films?
Nope.
Neither did I, so the floor is yours, Miss Shea Simone.
Wow. So I think I actually saw like a good majority,
All
like
of them?
maybe no, I saw like half of them.
Wow.
In
That's
Petigore,
still impressive.
Run Sweetheart Run, Scare Me, The Night House. I really, really wanted to see Relic because I heard great things from it, but I didn't get to catch it, unfortunately. So my answer is going to be His House, which is a story about a couple. I can't remember where they were from, but they came from Africa, and they're refugees that are settling in England, somewhere in the UK. And it's just about how their transition and their adaptation is made a horrifying struggle because of what they went through beforehand in trying to get out of where they were, out of the place that they were at. It has to deal with it deals with trauma and kind of, post-traumatic stress disorder and classism and just there's this overall intensity having to do with the xenophobia that they have to kind of cope with, and they're just kind of left struggling and wondering whether or not it was worth it in the first place. And it's legitimately like kind of creepy. It's got some jump scares, and I hate jump scares personally, but they were a lot more deserved than the jump scares in like The Night House, for example, which if you also read my review, which I speak of in a lot of detail, had very terrible, undeserved jump scares. His house, it was deserved, and they had a lot of really, really cool imagery that felt really meaningful. It didn't just want to be scary. It wanted to have this meaning behind it. It wanted to make you feel not only for the characters, but also what they were going through. And it's heartbreaking to watch because you care for them, but they make the choices that they make because they want what's best for themselves and each other.
You know this got bought too, right?
By who?
Netflix.
Oh, shit!
Netflix bought
Go watch it on Netflix!
Before it debuted here at the festival, Netflix bought it.
Yeah, because honestly, like, it's hard to say I've ever seen not only it's in many, if not most aspects, a drama. And I haven't seen very many films talk about the horrors of having to be a refugee in a new country, and everything is just strange and bizarre. The people are kind of hard to read or intimidating and just awful sometimes. But yeah, it's a horror movie about refugees, and I've never seen anything else like it. I deeply respect this movie, and I really recommend it.
I like hearing that. That's awesome. Does that conclude all the different sections of
that we're covering?
Sundance
Anyway,
yeah, because we're not gonna do all the other.
No, not the New Frontier stuff. I don't think we did any of that.
And then there's too many shorts.
Oh yeah. So for the shorts, I'm actually reporting on a large majority of them. So you can find my compilation article coming up soon. Will is also contributing a couple.
Like 3 of them.
But I think in total we're gonna have around almost 40 shorts.
40 shorts, yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. There are definitely some really amazing shorts that you should definitely watch.
Yeah, but there's some good stuff that I saw here. As far as I saw about 3 or 4 shorts, and I think I liked half of them. So 2.
Nice.
2 out of 4 ain't bad.
At least you got something.
Yeah. This has been a really interesting festival for us. I think that everything has gone in a different direction than what we initially anticipated it would go. I don't think we anticipated to have nearly the success, I would say, that we are in this festival. With that said, let's get to our other topic that we're going to be doing today, and that is
topic, yeah.
Our substitution topic here. We're going to we took out Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and The Joker, which we don't really feel belong in the Best Picture discussion, and we replaced them with 2 films of our own. What we're going to have right now is our lovely guest, Rosa, tell you her 2 picks and why she thinks that those 2 are better Best Picture nominees than the 2 we've removed. Rosa, the floor is all yours.
Aw, thank you. Just putting me on the spot here.
That's what I do.
That's what you do best. Okay, my 2 choices are obviously Rocket Man, which I strongly believe got snubbed in a lot of categories in the Oscars. And my second film is Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Rocket Man, it's, of course, everybody knows biopic about, not necessarily biopic, but it's based on the life of Elton John with all his music and such. And if I'm not mistaken, the only thing that got nominated was the song.
That's
the
right.
Original song.
Mm-hmm. I'm Still Standing or whatever.
No, this film was, I'm still upset. that Taron Egerton didn't get nominated for Best Actor. He sings all of his songs here, and everybody knows I'm a big bull rap defender, and even I can see that this film is far superior than Bohemian Rhapsody. And for it not to be nominated at all, it's quite disappointing. I'm so sad I can't even talk anymore. It's very disappointing, and it's upsetting because I believe the release date might have something to do with it. It was released earlier in the year, and that may have hurt its chances, even though they promoted the crap out of it. But Rocket Man is just a great film. Hopefully, most people have seen it by now, but if you haven't, it's definitely a film. All I have to say is about Elton John, and that should be more than enough to incline you to go watch it. My last film, second film that I think should have been nominated as Best Picture is my favorite film of 2019, which is Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
That's a damn good film.
I love that film. And not because it's one of the most feminist films I've seen, not only because of the topic it addresses, but it's directed by a woman. It's written by a woman. Cinematography by a woman. The costume design by a woman. It's about women, and it just the romance, everything about it, the acting and everything is just beautiful. It's art at its best, and for it to be completely out of the Oscars, it's disappointing as well. So yeah, if Joker's out and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is out, I would definitely put in Rocket Man and Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Nice.
I like those picks. Rocket Man is fantastic, and we talked about this yesterday. I feel like if Rami Malek can win the Oscar for lip syncing over Bradley Cooper, who sang all the songs in A Star Is Born, that Edgerton should have at least got a nomination. Yeah. And as far as Portrait of a Lady on Fire, I am not a woman. That needs to be clear. I don't care if it's written or directed by a woman. It doesn't matter to me. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't take away from the fact that this is one of the most damn romantic movies that you will see ever. Mm-hmm. It's got the second best lesbian relationship that I've seen in some time, and that's only because Blue is the Warmest Color is slightly better than that. And that says a lot because that film is also French and is also about lesbians and is also just bonkers good.
France loves their lesbians.
They do love their lesbians in France.
And we do too.
And we do too. Those are some great picks, Rose. Thank you for sharing those. Shay?
So, I definitely have one strong one and then another one that if I were to replace whatever, I would choose that. But I guess I'll start with the weaker one. Okay. The one that I feel is weaker personally.
Okay.
And I think I guess because of your choices, I know what they are. So I'm just going to go with Booksmart.
Okay.
Booksmart is the best iteration of the Superbad type movie. Mm-hmm. It's basically Superbad from the plot, but it's so hilarious and it's so down to earth, and I love the writing. I love the cast. They're amazing. And I mean, plot aside, it's got that whole teen comedy narrative. Oh, we have to go to a party before we graduate. We have to fight because it's whatever point. It's that whatever point in the movie. Just all that, but it's just such an enjoyable experience, and it's really lively, and it's a good movie about teenagers. That's just it. It was really well done. What 8th grade did for the depression that you experience in middle school, Booksmart did for living it up in high school, basically. And then my next pick is one that I feel was snubbed because Joker. It's a way better film than Joker, and it's just such an incredible film in the first place, and I enjoyed it so fucking much, is Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Uncut Gems, in every single aspect that considers film, nails it. It's brilliant. Adam Sandler is hilarious. He's
the
like
best he's ever been.
I said this the other day, but it's like if Al Pacino was Jewish and he was dropped on his head as a baby. that's Adam Sandler's performance, and he's an incredible train wreck to watch, and you just have so much fun just seeing him fuck up time after time again. But it's also painful, and it's relentless, and the plot is relentless.
It's kind of an interesting look at addiction too.
In a way, yeah, addiction and ego. For a crime thriller, especially, it's a
Fragile
crime thriller.
masculinity.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's hilarious.
So funny.
If you don't already know, look up the memes around Uncut Gems, and you're gonna have a good time.
I mean, it's a movie
You're gonna
that-
thank me.
It's a movie in which there is a gold-plated Furby. That's all I need in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to it. I love the plot. I love how it just never stops, and it just keeps going, even when like it should be. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. But yeah, it's a beautiful movie. It's intense, and it's sometimes painful to watch. But yeah, I feel like it was really seriously snubbed, and it was kind of I don't want to say Oscar baity, but I feel like this is the kind of thing that people would get nominated for in the first place. And I wish that Adam Sandler was nominated also for Best Actor.
You know what's funny? I don't think this is the kind of thing they get nominated for.
Really?
I think they get nominated for things like Judy, which has no other nominations besides Renee Zellweger.
Well,
Biopics.
I think he
that.
should have been nominated because he is phenomenal,
I don't disagree with
and
you.
I love him in this movie.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Adam Sandler just controls that screen for that whole hour and what have you that he's on it. That movie is literally what happens if you inject bang energy into your heart directly.
Oh,
and just let it go. That's basically what this movie. The Safdie brothers are just insane.
I love the Safdie brothers. They've influenced me so much, and there's just so much to learn from them. They're incredible filmmakers. Just like right from liftoff, they've been amazing.
Yeah, it's really hard to make three
Yeah.
utterly brilliant movies that are all similar but also completely different.
Yeah. 2 years in a row, they've been snubbed.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, they're so good.
Yeah.
They are just incredibly good, and I like Booksmart too. I thought Booksmart, like I think I said it to you. I think Booksmart's one of the best written teen comedies that's ever been made.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that the script and Olivia Wilde's direction, even though she's a brand new director,
Yeah, it's her first film.
First film.
Yeah.
it's so interesting how she puts everything together, and I can't wait to see more from her.
Exactly, yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Which she does have a short starring Margaret Qualley.
Margaret Qualley, yep.
That's coming out soon. I don't know when, but someday.
It'll be out soon.
Excited to see that.
As for my picks, I went with basically what I would like to call the spare parts of the other two ladies.
I allowed you to have
Yes.
one of those.
And I allowed you to have the other one.
They moved pieces in and out, and I just took over those pieces as my picks.
Nice, me and Rosa.
Yeah. To be fair, these were also the two movies I wanted to talk about here, and I'll start with the first one, which is Lulu Wang's The Farewell. This movie, which is an A24 release again, is such a dialogue on the immigrant story. It's a tale told 1,000 times, but it needs to be told 1,000 more. And it's one that doesn't get told enough as well, even though it's been told 1,000 times. Awkwafina got snubbed. Period. End of story. Awkwafina, who is Bae, got snubbed for Best Actress. Take Renee Zellweger right on out of there, even though she's probably going to win next Sunday, and put her in there. Awkwafina gives a performance that is both nuanced, emotional, and funny. And Zhao Junzhen, who plays her grandmother, that was good.
There you go.
Is also fantastic as Nine-Eye. There's so much going on in this movie that you can't even believe that this whole movie's based around a lie. I've never seen a movie based around a lie that's so truthful.
Yeah.
Within itself, within the story, within the characters, and within the culture that it's set in, which in this case is China. So much of The Farewell relies on you as a person being able to juxtapose your family onto the family on screen and just begin to feel what they're going through. Because as weird as it is, the Chinese culture of not telling older people that they're sick and that the sickness will kill them, it also kind of makes sense.
Yeah. You kind of root for it.
You're rooting for Nine-Eye to get better, and you're rooting for the family to not to accidentally tell her that she's got cancer. But all along the way, you're just having a damn good time with the people on the screen, and that's one of the most precious things you can ask for. Yeah. Ironically, my other film is also an A24 joint.
Ironically or coincidentally?
Oh no, this is completely done on purpose.
Incidentally.
I got another A24 joint here, and that is Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse.
Which was also what I was thinking of choosing.
Yes. Shay was about 2 seconds away from picking it, and she's like, I was like, can I have that one? Can I have it?
It's very good.
It's so good. The black and white cinematography just works, and the story is insane. It's so funny that the Safdies and Eggers both have movies coming out this year because their previous movies were both also completely insane. Mm-hmm. Good Time and The Witch were both completely insane as well.
I love The Witch.
It's so
also
good.
A fantastic movie.
Yeah. A24 is tending to hitch their wagon to directors who are doing things and taking risks that nobody else wants to take, and to tell stories that nobody else wants to tell. This is about two lighthouse keepers in the late 1800s who basically get driven insane by the isolationism that they live in. Namely Robert Pattinson.
Who is a former alcoholic. Not his character.
No, himself.
Okay, sure. Batman has been on some rough times.
Yeah, he's got a problem with the sauce.
He's got to cope somehow.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe is so good. You can't take your eyes off of him the entire time.
Here's the thing. Was Willem Dafoe nominated?
No.
What is with that?
Should he have been? Yes, he should have.
That's like
I agree.
That's the biggest duh.
Yeah.
But like I feel like the Academy screwed up on this one.
Oh yeah,
no, they really screwed up.
They for sure screwed the pooch on this one.
They sure did made love to the pooch on this one.
Yeah, for sure. The Independent Spirit Awards will make up for it because that movie's gonna win everything at that award show. The only thing it's probably not gonna win is Best Feature, and that's probably gonna be Marriage Story. And I'm all about it. Yeah, all about it. No, those are our picks for what we think should be the last two spots of the Academy Awards. I think that we've got 6 amazing movies that in any given year could be in anybody's top 10 of the year. Mm-hmm. And especially like Rocket Man was so good. I did not expect that. And Booksmart, I don't know how the hell it's that good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's so many great movies that came out last year, and to have the 9 that we do and have 2 of them not be up to par with what we think is Best Picture. I mean, we easily could have taken out The Irishman and put one of these other films in here if we wanted to, but we just took those other 2 out, and we pop any of these 2 in there, and we're good to go.
But I have a prediction for the year.
Yeah.
I think this year in movies is going to be better than last year.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bold prediction. Why do you think that?
Because looking at Sundance and the selection of films they had this year, even though they had films that I thought were mediocre or even hated, there were still way better films that I liked, way better films that are even going to make my top 10 for this year period than there was last year. So I have a lot of hope for this year. I think it holds so much potential. So I'm excited to see what comes out and what there is to behold and what there is to experience.
It's funny. I don't necessarily think that that's a hot take. I think you might be right. The caliber of films we've seen at Sundance this year is far and away exceeds what we saw last year. Yeah. There's better movies. There's more diverse storytelling movies.
In a way.
But the ones that don't do that, the ones that try to stick to that socio-political bullshit,
pandering, mainly
that Sundance likes to stick with, those are the ones that haven't been good. Yeah. For every bullshit movie that we get that talks about the same thing of men being weak and women being strong, we get a different experience of love, a different experience on life, a different experience on everything.
To your point, there are those movies that do pander, and they want to represent a certain minority or be feminist or whatever, but it just feels empty. In turn, coming back to the 40-year-old version, that movie also speaks out about the commercialism of social issues.
Yeah.
So for every bad movie that tries, there's a movie like that is honest and real and down to earth and they know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've got immigrant tales here like Minari, which is great, by the way. A24 again.
Yeah, it's a good film.
And you get these other stories like you've got rom-coms that have more in them than these other messages.
Yeah.
Palm Springs and Dinner in America, which are both technically romantic comedies, have more to them than a lot of the movies that are playing here, and that says something that genre can do that.
Yeah. So I really have so much faith in this year's films. I mean, what is it? It's almost February only, and I've already seen so many good movies. So
yeah. I think it's so cool. I mean, for everything that's coming out in January that's not good, we have the rest of the year to look forward to fantastic movies from February all the way out to December. And that's going to start with probably the greatest video game movie of all time, Sonic the Hedgehog, which comes out February 14th. Let's go. All right. Now, that's going to end our second episode. We made it to 2.
We made it.
That's amazing.
We didn't crash and burn.
If you'd like to help us out and make sure we can get better equipment, keep doing the show, have a better show, we have a Patreon. If you could donate there, you won't be able to look at our Best of the Fest document, our article on the Best of the Fest, unless you're subscribed to at least a $5 tier. There is a $1 tier that you can subscribe to, and that is very helpful. But all of our $5 patrons, this is where you would normally get a shout out. But right now we don't have any, so let's make that happen.
We don't have any Patreons. Do roll credits.
And so let's make that happen, guys. Let's all say our goodbyes. Rosa, since you're our guest, why don't you sign off first?
Oh my god. I don't know how to
Where
say
can
that.
people find you on the interwebs?
I have to specify. I don't have much experience in this. Well, I'm on social media, Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, although Facebook gets the least one I use. But all of them are at Rosa's Reviews.
All right, and then my lovely co-host, Shay Simone.
Hello. I love you guys. You can find me on Instagram at redshoes99. That's my personal Instagram. So follow me to see really bad pictures of myself. I'm also on Twitter. Thanks to the advice of Matt Neglia, I'll be a lot more active on that at Shay Simone. Shay spelled like chai, the T. And I'm also on Facebook. Don't follow me. Bye.
All right. And, of course, it's been me, William, here with Film Snob Reviews. You can follow me everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Letterboxd at Film Snob Reviews. Make sure you do that. And, like I said, click that Patreon button at the bottom and help us out. For Film Snob Reviews, we'll see you later.
Bye.